I am sending out this video for prep for Malachi. We were talking about it, Daniel, Hannah, and I, and my wife, and my wife is awesome and she's brilliant. And she said, "Hey, why don't you send a video instead of typing out all the information?" And I thought, that's awesome because I stink at typing and can't spell. So here's a video just kind of letting you know what to prepare for, what to get ready for Malachi coming up this Thursday. We will be walking through the book of Malachi for the next 3 weeks. I will be teaching through it. I'm really excited. It's going to be it's really a cool book. I've read through it before, but never really studied it. And so it's going to be a really, really cool study. What we'll do is when we get in our small groups, when we get into those, our focus and what we're going to look at doing is the idea is we want people to see that how we're talking during our small group is a good way to have a quiet time. So many people, if they sit down to have a quiet time, they would have no clue what it looks like. They wouldn't understand how to do it. Some people get frustrated with the idea of just sitting down and reading and going, "Oh, I don't get this. This is so frustrating." So what we want to do over the next 3 weeks is, as we are in our small groups, we want to paint the picture and be very crystal clear that what we're doing and how we're kind of talking out loud is maybe what it should look like as you sit down to have a quiet time. As you sit down to read Scripture and look through Scripture, that's what your quiet time should look like. So the questions that our small group leaders or you guys as facilitators will be asking is the same questions they should be asking as they sit down to have a quiet time. So for instance, this Thursday, what we'll do is we're going to teach and show a way of studying your Bible and having a quiet time, kind of line by line study. And what we do with any book of the Bible as when we start is we have to ask kind of the who, what, when, where, why. What's the context of the book we're reading? Who's writing it? Why are they writing it? To whom are they writing it to? What's going on in the culture? What has happened in their history? And so what we'll do is we will, in our small group, spend the first half just really hashing that out. I will have already taught on it. I will give them the background, but we'll sit down and you'll ask as a small group, "Hey guys, so tell me, who was the book written to and what was significant about that? What stood out? Who wrote it? What was the deal behind Malachi? What was Malachi's issue? Why was he so intent on getting this point across? Where were they at?" And so you'll hash it out because that is so important to bring to the text every time we read, every time we study. We have to know why and who and what was going on. So we'll start with that, and then we'll just then we'll move through a couple of the sections. We're going all over chapter 1 of Malachi this Thursday, and it really breaks down in a couple of sections. And so what we'll do is say section 1, verses 3 through 8 is a good main idea, let's say, for instance. And so we'll say 3 through 8. All right, now what are those verses? Out of those verses, what sticks out? What is huge for us? And kind of walk through. Obviously, ideally, in a quiet time that we go line by line, you would go line by line. You might get 2 verses done, a quiet time, or you may get 15. We won't have time to rehash through every verse that I had just taught on in the small group. But yet, think through big ideas, big chunks of section 1, of chapter 1. So kind of to recap, this Thursday when you're in your small group, what you'll do is you will spend about half the time going over the who, what, when, where of Malachi, why that's important to remember, and then just going through the sections of chapter 1, kind of the main ideas of each little breakdown section and pulling out important points with the most important overall arching theme that I want you each to communicate very clearly at the beginning is this is what a quiet time should look like. This is one of the ways to have a quiet time, and we'll do the same over the next couple of weeks. So anyway, I will be sending out in this video or this email that you'll be getting, it will have a link to this video, which you already know because you're watching, but it will also have some commentaries, some clips, inserts from Malachi, so you can kind of read up and have an idea coming into Thursday night what's going on in Malachi. It will also have some questions for Thursday night, so be looking for that in this email also. Thank you. See y'all Thursday. Love y'all.